Welcome to Ireland. Located in northwestern Europe, Ireland occupies most of the island of Ireland with an area of about 70,000 square kilometers, facing the Atlantic Ocean and featuring more than 3,000 kilometers of coastline filled with bays, peninsulas, and dramatic sea cliffs. The landscape is known for its vast green pastures, gentle rolling hills, natural lakes, and rugged coastlines. One of the most iconic sights is the Cliffs of Moher, rising over 200 meters above the sea and overlooking the endless Atlantic, standing as one of the country's most recognizable natural landmarks. Ireland also carries a deep historical legacy with ancient monasteries, stone fortresses, and enduring Gaelic traditions that continue to shape the country's cultural identity and travel experience today. And the journey begins along Ireland's western coast, where towering cliffs rise dramatically above the vast Atlantic Ocean. Cliffs of Moher. Located along the western coast of Ireland in County Clare, this area lies about 75 kilometers from the city of Galway and roughly 270 kilometers from the capital, Dublin. The cliffs stretch for around 14 kilometers along the Atlantic Ocean, rising from about 120 meters to more than 214 meters at their highest point near O'Brien's Tower. This is one of Ireland's most distinctive coastal landscapes, where sheer cliffs drop directly into the ocean. Unlike the gentle sandy beaches common in southern Europe, this coastline clearly shows the powerful erosion of Atlantic winds and waves over millions of years. The name Moher is believed to come from the ancient fort Mothar, which once stood near Hag's Head before it was destroyed in the 19th century. Today, the entire area is part of the Cliffs of Moher Special Protection Area, established to protect the surrounding coastal ecosystem. The terrain is made up of layers of shale and sandstone formed around 300 million years ago. A notable landmark here is O'Brien's Tower, built in 1835 at the highest point of the cliffs to offer panoramic views over the Atlantic Ocean. Visitors usually access the area through the visitor center near the village of Liscannor, then walk along the cliffside trails that follow the coastline. The cliffs are also home to many seabirds, including puffins, guillemots, and razorbills. From these dramatic Atlantic sea cliffs, the journey continues toward another remarkable landscape of Ireland. Giant's Causeway. Along the coast of County Antrim in Northern Ireland, about 95 kilometers north of the city of Belfast and only around 3 kilometers from the town of Bushmills, this area is one of the most famous geological landscapes on the island of Ireland. The coastal site covers roughly 70 hectares and features more than 40,000 interlocking basalt columns shaped like polygons, forming a rare and striking natural structure along the shoreline. The scenery here is noticeably different from many other coastlines in Ireland. While places like the cliffs of Moher are known for their towering cliffs carved by ocean waves, this area stands out for its tightly packed basalt columns that resemble natural steps stretching out toward the sea. According to geological research, these columns formed around 50 to 60 million years ago when lava from ancient volcanic activity cooled and contracted into polygonal shapes. In Irish folklore, however, the site is linked to the legend of the giant Finn McCool, who is said to have built a stone pathway across the sea to Scotland. The terrain includes several clusters of layered basalt columns extending toward the ocean, with notable spots such as the Grand Causeway, the Wishing Chair, and the Giant's Boot. In 1986, the site was recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site for its outstanding geological value. Visitors usually begin their journey at the Giant's Causeway Visitor Center and then walk along the coastal trails to observe the rock formations and the surrounding cliff ecosystems, which are home to many species of seabirds. If you ever had the chance to stand on the basalt columns of Giant's Causeway and look out over the Atlantic Ocean, what do you think would impress you the most about this place? Leaving behind this remarkable basalt coastline, the journey continues toward another distinctive landscape of Ireland. Ring of Kerry. Looping around the Iveragh Peninsula in County Kerry in southwest Ireland, this scenic route stretches about 179 kilometers and lies only a few kilometers from the town of Killarney, the most common starting point for the journey. It is one of Ireland's most well-known travel routes, connecting coastal villages, valleys, and low mountain landscapes along the edge of the Atlantic Ocean. Unlike destinations centered around a single landmark such as a cliff or national park, the Ring of Kerry offers a continuous, scenic journey. Along the same route, travelers can witness the shifting landscape between rugged coastlines, grassy coastal fields, and the gentle mountain ranges of southwest Ireland. Evidence of human settlement in this region dates back to prehistoric times, reflected in ancient stone circles and Gaelic stone forts scattered across the peninsula. Over centuries, fishing villages and coastal farming communities developed here, shaping the distinctive local culture of County Kerry. The scenery along the route includes Kenmare Bay, wide Atlantic beaches, and the McGillicuddy's Reeks mountain range, home to Curran Hill, the highest peak in Ireland at about 1,038 meters. Viewpoints such as Ladies View and Mall's Gap are popular stops where visitors can take in sweeping panoramas of valleys and lakes. The Ring of Kerry is usually explored by car, bicycle, or guided bus tours departing from Killarney. Along the route, many stops allow visitors to admire ocean views, explore coastal villages, and observe seabirds and coastal ecosystems. After passing the winding Atlantic coastal roads of the Ring of Kerry, the journey continues toward another destination that reveals a completely different side of Ireland. Killarney National Park. Located just south of the town of Killarney in County Kerry in southwest Ireland, this area covers about 102 square kilometers and is the first national park of Ireland, established in 1932. The park lies right beside the town of Killarney and about 85 kilometers from the city of Cork, serving as one of the country's most important protected natural areas. While many parts of Ireland are known for dramatic Atlantic sea cliffs, this landscape represents the island's inland natural environment with wide lakes, native forests, and low mountain ranges. The combination of lakes, woodlands, and mountains creates a diverse ecosystem typical of southwest Ireland. The park was established when the Muckross estate and its surrounding lands were donated to the Irish state in 1932. From that moment, the area became the foundation of Ireland's national park system and was gradually expanded in the following decades. One of the park's defining features is the group of 3 large lakes known as the Lakes of Killarney, Loughlin, Muckross Lake, and Upper Lake, which lie at the foot of the McGillicuddy's Reeks mountain range. A well-known natural attraction within the park is Torque Waterfall, a scenic cascade set among ancient oak and yew forests that are rarely found elsewhere in Ireland. Visitors can explore the park through walking trails, cycling routes, or boat trips across the lakes. The area is also home to native red deer, one of the oldest surviving wildlife species on the island of Ireland. From the forests and lake system of Killarney, the journey across Ireland continues toward another remarkable destination on the island. Connemara. Stretching across western County Galway, this region lies along the Atlantic coast about 70 kilometers from the city of Galway. Connemara does not have an exact administrative boundary, but it is generally considered a broad peninsula between Killary Harbour and Galway Bay, where low hills, lakes, and rugged coastline come together. While many parts of Ireland are known for green pastures and farmland, Connemara presents a very different landscape with rocky moorlands, peat bogs, and rolling hills. This creates a much wilder natural environment compared to the more populated regions in Eastern Ireland. The name Connemara is believed to come from the Gaelic term Conmaich na Mara, meaning the descendants of Conhaicni, by the sea. For centuries, the region has been home to Gaelic-speaking communities, and even today, Connemara remains part of the Gaeltacht, where traditional Irish language and culture are preserved. The landscape includes numerous natural lakes, peat bogs, and the 12 Bens mountain range, with Benbeln as its highest peak at about 729 meters. Another notable geographical feature is Killary Harbour, the only fjord in Ireland. Connemara can be explored by driving along coastal roads, hiking in Connemara National Park, or visiting small fishing villages scattered along the Atlantic shoreline. The region is also famous for the Connemara pony, a horse breed that has become a symbol of the area. If you had the chance to visit Connemara and stand among its rocky hills, quiet lakes, and the vast Atlantic coastline, what do you think would make you want to stay and explore this place longer? From these wild moorlands and western shores, the journey continues toward one of Ireland's important coastal cities. Dingle Peninsula, located in southwest Ireland in County Kerry. This peninsula stretches nearly 50 kilometers into the Atlantic Ocean and lies about 60 kilometers from the town of Killarney. It is one of the major peninsulas of the region, where the scenic coastal route known as Slee Head Drive, about 47 kilometers long, takes travelers past fishing villages, beaches, and viewpoints overlooking the ocean. Unlike inland areas with lakes and forests such as Killarney National Park, this landscape clearly reflects the character of the Atlantic coastline, with rugged terrain, coastal grasslands, and low mountain ranges running along the peninsula. The region has a long history of settlement by Gaelic communities. Across the peninsula, visitors can still find clochans, stone beehive huts built using dry stone techniques, along with religious sites and ancient village remains dating back to medieval times. The landscape includes the Slieve Mish Mountains, dramatic coastal cliffs, and numerous small bays facing the Atlantic Ocean. From Slieve Head, visitors can also see the Blasket Islands, which were once home to a small Irish fishing community until the mid-20th century. From this Atlantic peninsula, the journey across Ireland continues toward another region with its own unique natural landscape. Aran Islands. Located off the west coast of Ireland at the mouth of Galway Bay, this island group lies about 30 to 40 kilometers from the city of Galway and consists of three main islands: Inishmore, Inishmon, and Inisheer. It is one of the most distinctive island regions of Western Ireland, where the Atlantic Ocean meets the limestone landscape of the nearby Burren region. Unlike many coastal areas with thick grasslands and farmland, the islands here are mainly formed from exposed limestone with very thin soil and countless low stone walls built by local residents to divide small farming plots. This terrain creates a natural environment that is quite different from most parts of Ireland. The islands have been inhabited since prehistoric times, as shown by several ancient stone forts scattered across the landscape. The most famous is Dún An Gasa, a circular stone fort perched on the edge of a cliff on Inishmore, believed to be more than 2,000 years old. The islands feature limestone plateaus, coastal cliffs, and rocky shores facing the Atlantic Ocean, forming habitats for many seabirds and plant species adapted to the harsh coastal environment. After exploring these limestone islands off the coast of Galway, the journey continues to another destination that carries a strong historical character of Ireland. Wicklow Mountains. Stretching south of Dublin in County Wicklow in Eastern Ireland, this mountain range lies about 40 kilometers from the center of the capital and is the largest mountainous area near the city. Much of the region is part of Wicklow Mountains National Park, which covers around 205 square kilometers and includes wide valleys, glacial lakes, and rolling upland landscapes. Unlike the western coastal regions known for dramatic Atlantic cliffs, this area represents the inland terrain of Ireland, characterized by rounded mountains, peat bogs, and U-shaped valleys formed during the Ice Age. The name Wicklow comes from the Old Norse term Vikingalo, meaning meadow of the Vikings, reflecting the presence of Viking communities along the nearby coastline during the medieval period. Today, the mountains serve as one of Ireland's important protected natural areas. The region includes several peaks such as Lugnaquilla, the highest point in the range at about 925 meters. Another well-known location is the Valley of Glendalough, where two glacial lakes sit between steep mountain slopes and form one of the most recognized natural and historical sites in the region. Visitors often reach the area by driving from Dublin along mountain roads or by hiking long-distance trails such as the Wicklow Way, which stretches for more than 130 kilometers. The mountains are also home to red deer, birds of prey, and many plant species typical of Ireland's upland environments. Leaving behind these eastern mountains, the journey across Ireland continues toward another remarkable destination of the country. Kylemore Abbey. Hidden within the mountains of Connemara in County Galway in Western Ireland, this complex lies about 80 kilometers from the city of Galway and sits along the shore of Palakapa Lough. The building is surrounded by mountains, lakes, and the natural woodland landscape typical of the Connemara region. Unlike many of Ireland's well-known natural landmarks such as coastal cliffs or peninsulas, this site is known for the combination of historic architecture and the surrounding natural scenery. The main building reflected on the surface of the lake creates a distinctive image often seen in travel materials about Western Ireland. The structure was originally built in 1867 by the English businessman Mitchell Henry as a private castle. After World War I, the property was purchased by Benedictine nuns, who converted it into an abbey and also opened a boarding school for girls that operated there for several decades. The main building was constructed from granite in the Gothic Revival architectural style and sits within a large estate that includes forests, a lake, and walled gardens. One notable feature within the grounds is a small Gothic church built nearby in memory of Mitchell Henry's wife. Today, visitors can explore the abbey, the restored Victorian garden, and walking paths around the lake and nearby forest. It remains one of the most prominent historical and cultural attractions in the Connemara region. From this abbey set between mountains and a quiet lake, the journey across Ireland continues toward another destination that reflects the country's rich history. The journey across Ireland comes to an end here. From the dramatic cliffs along the Atlantic Ocean and the rugged peninsulas of the west, to the mountains, lakes, and ancient abbeys surrounded by nature, each region reflects a different part of the island's geography, history, and culture. National parks, coastal fishing villages, and historic landmarks together create a diverse and fascinating picture of Ireland today. Thank you for spending time exploring Ireland with this channel. If you enjoyed the video and found it interesting, don't forget to subscribe to support the channel and stay updated with our upcoming journeys. In the next episodes, we will continue discovering many more remarkable destinations around the world. See you in the next video.